Gentleman from Puerto Rico, Mr. Pierluisi.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would first like to thank Congresswoman Waters for allowing me to take this turn. I have to say that I have been waiting patiently to speak. I feel disturbed. First thing that I'll say is that I hear all of this about we're a nation of laws. Let's not forget, we're also a nation of immigrants. While we have every right to regulate immigration, enforce our immigration laws, it makes no sense to demonize immigrants in America. That goes against the fabric of our society. It goes against our roots. I can only surmise, but I have to say that I have no doubt that there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of American citizens or documented residents in America who at one point in their lives did not have their papers in order. It has happened through our history. I have also heard that this is the rule of law, that what's going to happen if we don't enforce the rule of law? Well, let me be plain about it. If the rule or the law is not working, you change it. What it makes no sense is to have a system that is not working. What makes no sense is to have about 12 million people out there we cannot even account for, who are in fear. And then one day we come here and they're blamed for our crime problems. The other day they're blamed for our economic troubles. And where are the studies? The majority of the studies do not support either proposition. That's why I'm disturbed. I brought a couple of and then one last thing, Mr. Rodriguez. I am a Puerto Rican American. As a Puerto Rican American, I am an American citizen by birth. I don't like to be stigmatized either, but I do something about it. I'm trying to fix the system so that we don't have all those fellow Hispanics facing what they're facing these days. I have a couple of statistics. If I hear you right, Mr. Rodriguez, you're saying that all we have to do is enforce the laws in the border. Well, the first statistic I'm going to tell you is that 4 out of 10 undocumented immigrants in this country are here because they overstayed their visas, not because they crossed the border illegally. So that's one thing. Your proposition wouldn't fix that. Second point, if the premise is that this government is not doing enough, our federal government is not doing enough, I'll just give you a statistic. In 2007, $7.3 billion were assigned for border protection. Less than 3 years later, 2010, $10.1 billion assigned to border protection. I'm not an expert in math, but at least that's like a 40% increase. So it's not like we're not doing something about it. It's just that the system, again, is not working. Now, I noticed, Mr. Rodriguez, as well, and I'll let you comment, but because I don't want this to be a one-way exercise, in fairness to you. But I also heard about your father's your struggles and so on. But I wonder whether you know that all major labor unions in this country reject your solution, your proposed solution. Let's simply enforce the law. Let's do more of the same. The unions do not support that. AFL-CIO, Change to Win, representing 16 million workers in America, and more than 60 unions argue that continuing our failed enforcement-only approach will merely push undocumented workers further into the shadows, where they are more susceptible to abuse and exploitation. What do you have to say, Mr. Rodriguez, about my feelings and the statistics that I'm sharing with you?
Well, apparently you're pretty passionate, but let me begin by, first of all, the situation of my comments about border security. I recognize that 40% overstay. And when I talk about border security, I'm talking about enforcement across the border, of not only at the border, but across the spectrum also of those that have overstayed, trying to find them and taking the proper action. That's what we need to do. Secondly, if we would enforce the employer sanctions, that would take a magnet. That would be a great step in taking one magnet away for these people staying here. Okay? Third, you talk about the difference between the Bush administration and what the current administration has done as far as the budget for enforcement. Well, that's great. That's great. But we weren't happy with the Bush administration. Again, I'm not here representing the Republican Party, sir. I'm here representing the San Antonio Tea Party. And the San Antonio Tea Party, as well as other Tea Parties, is a conservative organization. And we are not happy with anything that is not enforcing the law, okay? Whether it's Republican or conservative or Democrat. So that's third. The next thing is that when we want, if we want to, when you talk about the union, well, in my opinion, all the unions want to do is grow and get more members. Okay, I don't think that they really want to protect American workers at this point. If they did, then they would be trying to enforce illegal immigration laws. So that's where I'm coming from.
My time is up, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
The gentleman